Hey everyone, this is Fario and welcome back. It's been a while, but I've been very busy lately, and also my parents are visiting me here in London, which is great. And because of these combination of factors, I've been not only busy but also keep forgetting to shoot any videos. And I have like 3 or 4 that I want to do, and I've not enough time. So since they're not here at the moment, it's just me. I've decided before I forget again, let's just do this video because I need to do my RPG marathon video part 3. It's also the conclusion of this mini series that I've done. I played 3 RPGs on the PSP. Now I'm refocusing on the Vita. And the first 2 games were Lunar, Silver Star Harmony, and Star Ocean, First Departure. And for the third game, I've decided to keep the potentially most controversial one for me, potentially because it's a game of the series that I absolutely love, but it's the it's a different kind of game of this series, and the game is Phantasy Star Portable on the PSP. So, where do I even start with Phantasy Star Portable? Let's say that I love Phantasy Star. I absolutely love the classic Phantasy Star games. It's one of among my favorites RPG series. It's the series that initiated my passion for JRPG since um, Phantasy Star 2. It's the first JRPG on console that I played, so it has a huge impact on me. Even though I didn't own a Genesis, that's the thing. I never been a Sega kid during the 16-bit days. I was a Nintendo kid. Most of my friends had Nintendos or Super Nintendos, while one among my friends actually, from the original NES, moved to Sega. He bought a Genesis since he was curious. I don't know, because I read that Sega was actually pretty popular in Europe. But at first, I was like most of the Nintendo fanboys, and we were very skeptical about the Genesis. Oh, yeah, whatever. It's not the Super Nintendo. It's not as good. But then I started to see some of the games. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And then he called me because I was always been into like role-playing games, even though I didn't like in middle school or whatever. Never played seriously Magic the Gathering, for example, or I never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I was very interested in like the Telltale books, for example. There's plenty of fantasy ones that I loved and read constantly. Or for a while, at least 1 year, I tried to get into Warhammer, the fantasy battle, which is a very cool hobby, but it was too expensive for me, way too expensive. But I've always been into fantasy or like role playing games. And the idea of having a role playing game on the console, the video games, was very intriguing to me. I started to hear about those kind of things. I didn't have one for the NES, since, for example, Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy weren't released in Europe until much later. And the first experience that I had, as I said, was Fantasy Star, because this friend of mine, I don't remember if he bought the game or rented the game, but he wanted to show me because he was too into role playing game. We most of the time we play these things together, like the Telltale books or anything else ourselves. I mean, because I read like fantasy mangas or some cartoons or whatever, and I wanted to get into role playing games, and the idea of playing a video game was very intriguing. So he called me to say, "Oh, I have to show you something." And showed me Phantasy Star 2, and I was shocked by the idea. Nowadays, the game is nothing phenomenal at the first look. I mean, you have to understand the impact that this series and these games had back then. This is a game I think it's still of the late 90s, late 80s, like 89 or 90 or something like that. Sorry, I'm very tired actually. Um, so if you play nowadays, and you never touch a classic Phantasy Star game. Phantasy Star 2, it's a very slow, very old school RPG, and it's fantastic. I love that game. When we played for the first time, we barely got anywhere. We reached the first dungeon, Shure, and get slaughtered at because we didn't know that we have to came back in order to recruit party members. So it was just the two main characters on their own, and it's a very difficult dungeons, and the dungeons in that game are very confusing and very difficult and very long. But that was my first my initiation. There you go, my initiation to Japanese role-playing games, and I was absolutely fascinated by them, and I was absolutely caught by them. So I decided that I want to play more of those games. And the rest is history in a way. I came a long way now. It's been at least 20 or something years since then. And for this reason, I've always been very attached to the Phantasy Star series, to the classic games. I've played and beat the first one, I've played and almost beat the second one, I played and beat the fourth one, which is my favorite of the series and my favorite game of all time. Plus, I've played some of Phantasy Star 3, but I want to finish 2 first before getting into that. It's considered the black sheep of the game, but I'm very interested into it. Mainly for the generations system, but we'll see when I play it. So, but that's it. That's my entire experience with Phantasy Star. I never touched what came out after 4, so I never touched Phantasy Star Online until many years later. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I bought Phantasy Star Zero on the DS, and it didn't grab me. It didn't grab me at all. I played like 3, 4, maybe 6 hours. I didn't like it very much. It was okay, but it was such an MMO feeling to it. I'd never been into those kind of games, so I just ignore it. But recently, I say, well, let's give Phantasy Star Portable a try. Since I have the PSP, I wanted to play some RPGs. Phantasy Star Portable, strange enough, was at a good price because we know we can start talking about game prices now. But I spent I think £15 for this. So I said, what the hell? Let's try it. Let's give another shot to this different kind of Phantasy Star series. I've reached the final boss of this game and I cannot beat it. I tried twice. It's a very long and very difficult battle for a reason that I will talk later. So I haven't technically finished the game, but I've got really far. Even though I didn't play as much as I could because I didn't complete all the side quests because I really don't want to. I don't care. There's no point in that. I'm really not an MMO player. That's the thing. Maybe I'm missing out so much of the game. I didn't play it online, for example. Who's still playing online with a PSP, by the way? I would like to know that. But I played in the campaign, the whole campaign, and almost finished it. So what's my opinion on Phantasy Star Portable? It's a good game. It is a good game. It's definitely a good game, but not as much as I wanted. I really want to like this game. That's the thing, because I was like, this is Phantasy Star. It's one of my favorite series of all time. It's one of the most important series for me. And this game, it's not grabbing as much as I want. And the main reason to me, it's mainly the MMO feeling of the game, but also other things. But let's try to go with some order here, because I'm already going into a tangent here. But let's start with the story, and that's one thing. For example, I didn't like very much the story of the game. I mean, it has potential, because from, I think, Phantasy Star Portable, which is, by the way, the sequel to Phantasy Star Universe, which is a sequel to the online episode 1 and 2 or something. I mean, it's the sequel of a sequel or something like that. I'm not sure. I never followed the Phantasy Star Online series very well. But for sure, Portable, it's the sequel of Phantasy Star Universe, which was only on PC, I think, not on consoles. And basically, there is this solar system, Gural. There you go. The Gural solar system made of 3 planets. One mainly inhabited by humans, Newman, and castes, which are living machines. While the Newmans are more similar to some sort of sci-fi elves, something like that, and then humans, of course. In Phantasy Star Universe, from what I know, because I never played the game, so from what I gather from playing Portable, there was this invasion of beings called seeds that, and the fight against these things was the main plot of Universe. Basically, in Phantasy Star Portable, these seeds are returning, and it's up to you and this organization called the Guardians to protect the Gruul system. Blah blah blah, something like that. It wasn't nothing special, personally. The good thing about the story, however, because most of the things for me in Phantasy Star Portable are okay, kind of okay things with a good idea or a good element, which it's not entirely, I think, used. But that was just my feeling. I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong, but hey, it's just my video. um, the thing that I liked about the story is the character of Vivienne, of course, which is a, let's say, a new kind of cast, with like that can actually update her feelings, or she can learn human feelings or something like that. She's just not just a simple machine, but she's much more, and she can learn from humans, for other organic and more sentient uh, beings in order to improve herself. So sometimes the dialogues with her are pretty interesting when, like, she wonder like what does it mean pray, what does it mean smiling, what does it mean singing or stuff like that. And that's interesting stuff. I like that. But at the same time, a kind of bad thing for me was that the dialogues were not very well done. Let's not even go to the voice acting. It was kind of bad. I usually say that I like bad voice acting in a way with nostalgic games. Since this game is not nostalgic to me, I didn't like the voice acting, with some exception. I mean, I liked the casts because they're robots. There's like, I can understand a bad voice for a very robotic voice for a cast, but for humans or Newmans or beasts, there are also this like other race. I forgot about them. Most of them, it's terrible. I mean, I heard so many people complain about the infamous laughing scene in Final Fantasy X. There is a great laughing scene in Phantasy Star Portable with a character which I completely forgot the name. He's like, ha ha ha! He laughs like that. I was like, whoa, what the hell? It was horrible. Other characters, the voice is okay, but this is more of a detail. But that's another problem with the cutscenes, the dialogues. They're not well done. It's in a sort of anime style, but it's still CGI. So it's this weird in between the two. And like the cutscenes are like not motions. I mean, they're stock images of these two characters. Like if one is saying like "stop the movie," it's like with the text below like "stop, don't move." I mean, it's like this is not really good. So it at least personally it didn't grab me in terms of the story, because overall the story is not that bad. It's kind of interesting, even though I didn't play Universe, so I don't know what happened before, but overall was not bad. But this horrible, most of the time, dialogues with horrible voice acting, or horrible maybe it's too much, but not that good, not very good. It was kind of distracting. I was more focused on the bad side of the dialogues, like the stock image, the bad voice acting, and everything, than focusing on the good things. For example, the kind of interesting story, the good story of Vivienne. Another terrible thing, the protagonist, your character, which, since it's an MMO game, there is a lot of customization. You can choose the race, like the hair, the dress, the kind of weapon specialization, this kind of thing, which is fine. I have nothing against that, of course. The problem is dialogues. You can barely talk to the other character. You can barely interact with this universe, literally, with these other characters. And that's something that bothered me a lot. It was like talking to me, all the characters from Vivienne to the others, they were always asking questions that I couldn't answer. The only thing, because I couldn't choose. Like there are some times there you can have options of what to say. Like, what do you think of this? Oh, good or bad? Okay, that's fine. most of the time they keep talking to me, and the only thing my character was saying is like dot dot dot. I mean, like, I want to say something. The thing that of course, what I wanted from this sort of system of both customization of your main character, but especially interaction with the other characters. Of course, I'm thinking about Mass Effect. After you play a game like that, you really want something like that in a game like Phantasy Star Portable or similar games, like this kind of sci-fi world where you can interact with these characters, with this universe. That it's the system to go, not something like this, that it's absolutely useless. Your character cannot interact with the others. You can say what you think only on pretty useless things, because if you say the wrong answer, you say, "Oh no, what are you talking about? Let's do the other way." It was like, I didn't really, that really bothered me. Maybe it's a secondary thing, but it really distracted me from the story, and it really bothered me because I hated my my character. I really didn't like it because well, I made like a female Newman, but because she couldn't interact with the rest of this universe. I mean, what do you think about this? It wouldn't be a great way to do this and this and this? Dot dot dot. I couldn't say anything. Like, should we go left or right? It was absolutely useless. Left or right, I couldn't choose. Like, no, let's go left. It was terrible. It drove me crazy. Um, so mainly the story is focused, of course, in the character of Vivienne and the return. It's not a big spoiler, of course, you know. It's a sequel of a game like that, and also it's a game of how many years ago? Oh no, it's there's a huge sticker on the date. So, but it's kind of an old game. It's not really a spoiler to say that these seeds are coming back, and it's your duty to stop them in order to save the solar system. Um, but this story, it's not well, mainly in terms of interaction between characters, which is essential to me in an RPG. It's not done well, while potentially could be very well done in a game like this. But let's move to what I was afraid the most in Phantasy Star Portable in this kind of games, and was the combat. um one of the main problems of this game, to me, it's the camera. The camera is really, really annoying. And I think that's the usual problem with the PSP that has only one stick. So most of the time you can move the camera with the D-pad or focus the camera on like straight ahead of you with the R button. And for the most time you're constantly pressing the button in order to center the camera, because while you're moving the camera follows you. It's very annoying, but after a while you kind of get used to it. And that the R button, it's very important, especially for combat, since it allows you to aim the closest enemy to you. And let's move to combat, and that's the other thing, because I didn't like it very much again. I kinda like it, but not that much, because to me it felt so wonky, so slow. I don't know, maybe I wanted something like Ease, for example, in terms of hack and slash. Maybe every MMO games are like this, with this, like you have to press, you have to do a sort of combo, like square, square, square. Then you have to wait, square, square, square. It was very annoying, very monotonous in a way. And again, after a while you get used to it, and it didn't bother me so much towards the end of the game. Every weapon has a sort of different rhythm to it, but you can mostly do like 3 attacks plus the photon art, which it's a special attack, which that's stronger, of course. And the more you develop the photon art, the more special attacks you can do. So it's not a really bad system. Maybe it's just me that I'm not used to these kind of things. But I was like, every time I was playing, basically, I was like, God, this is so annoying. I want something more fast. I want the combat of Ease, basically. I want something more hack and slash, like Ease. Maybe it's because I play Salsetta, and the combat, it's so good to me. It's so fluid, it's so fast that it's much more fun. This was annoying. That's it. It's not really bad. It's just annoying. It's very monotonous. Um, what else? The camera, that was the main problem, especially with boss battles with these huge bosses. Was flying all over the screen. You keep pressing the R button to aim towards like the sweet points. And the final battle with Dark Force, it's a nightmare because first you have to fight what, let's say, a first form of the boss, which is someone plus two really powerful robots that, if you're not strong enough, they'll just slaughter you in 2 seconds, and you have to redone the level. So that's quite annoying. And then there is the first form of Dark Force, which is a huge beast that's just moving its hands, it's shoot lightning. It's kind of annoying, but I still managed to do that. You just have to get the rhythm. And then the third and final, I hope, form of Dark Force, it is what you expect of him. It's Dark Force flying around and attack you, and you cannot even aim. So I'm afraid that you have to use guns, and don't let me start on guns in this game because it's a friggin' nightmare. That was really bad. It's another way to put it. Sometimes you have to move to first person and press select, so you cannot move. You're very vulnerable. So you have to move then just the cross aim in order to shoot. But you can also use guns with the third person move, but you're extremely vulnerable while doing that. It's a kind of game I think that desperately need at least two sticks, like the Vita. That's why I was so interested in Fantasy Star Nova, which because I can see the potential of a game like this. Even though I'm talking about a lot of negative stuff, I didn't hate this game. I played it up to the final boss because after a while, even though it's annoying, you get used to it and you get good to it. I was really good by the end of the game. My character was even strong. I think it was like level 77 or something like that. And I was mainly focused on the campaign, not the side mission, because to me there was no purpose in doing that other than grind between one mission and the other. That was another thing with the story. There were the campaign mission, and between every mission you have to do at least one side mission before having access to the next mission. That was kind of annoying. I said, let me just go on with the story. If I want to do the side mission, I'll do it. Don't force me. Um, Maybe that's just me not being an MMO player. I don't like these kind of games. I've nothing against them, but I don't like them. I prefer traditional RPGs. I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I tried, but I didn't like it very much overall. I retry Zero in the future. I have enough of these mechanics for now. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to import Nova to see if it's better. Because for what I read, Nova it's almost entirely a single player experience. So maybe they changed something. Because as I said, the potential is there. Potentially, this could be a really good game, but the combat system was very monotonous and very clunky. They really need to get a good story with good interaction. Do a Commander Shepard kind of thing. Is that difficult? I cannot understand why games don't use that mechanism too much, because it's perfect for this kind of game to interact with, for example, a crew or members of this organization you're part of. I don't understand why it's so difficult to reuse it. Maybe not exactly the same, but at least very similar. You can talk with these characters. Oh, of course, there is a sequel, Portable 2. I heard that's very good, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it in the future. When I saw it, it was kind of expensive. I don't want to spend too much now on a game like this. And if Portable 2 doesn't go down in price, I'll not get it. So probably I will not get it because these games are getting really ridiculously expensive in general. Let's talk about a good thing about Portable, and that's the music. The music was actually pretty good. It was mainly like orchestrated, and I have a somewhere among my soundtrack collection a anniversary concert that they did for the 25th years of the Phantasy Star series, and there are a lot of music from both Universe Online and Portable. So, and that music is very good. Maybe in on the soundtrack, it's mainly because it's really an orchestra playing live. but also in the game it's good. It's always a good music. This sirens go on forever. I don't know what to do. Um, so for the most part, I actually really like the music. Maybe sometimes there was something more annoying than others, but for the most part, I really enjoy the music. It's mainly symphonic. My God, it's going on forever. And what else? I was thinking what I would do to improve it. I don't know, because maybe this is just my opinion, and people who played it love this game. Because maybe if you are not an MMO player, you should not play Phantasy Star Portable. But I was so curious because I love the Phantasy Star series so much. And as I said, I will try Zero again because I kind of prefer it in terms of story. Was a bit more clear and more interesting. But I don't remember if the interaction was the same, bland and almost non-existent as Portable, or it was better. I really don't. I haven't played Zero in years now, but I will try it again in the future. For now, I wanted, in a way, to stop playing an RPGs to play something else. I started the Jack and Daxter collection on the Vita, and that's fantastic. But at the same time, I couldn't resist. I bought Final Fantasy VIII on my Vita, so I started playing another RPG. I can't help it. I love these games. But Jack and Daxter has the priority. I really want to play those games, and they're so good for now. But it was kind of a bet with Phantasy Star Portable because I was afraid about basically everything I said because I already experienced Zero, so I kind of knew that it was a game like this, but I really tried to like this. I kind of did. I mean, even though I talked for the most part as I didn't like this game it's okay for me. I don't know if I should recommend because there are a lot of things that really annoyed me. But for the most part, it's okay, kinda. If you like MMOs, you're probably gonna like it better if you like this kind of combat system. For a Phantasy Star game, to me, it's nowhere near the classic games in terms of story or because I don't know, maybe I just have nostalgia blinders. I can't help it. It's the first RPG that I played. Of course, I'm nostalgic about it. But when you play Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4, you know you're playing a good game. 4 in particular, of course. But 1, 2, and probably 3. I haven't played enough, but those are really good old school games. Of course, they're old school. They're of the mid 80s. But also in terms of story, they're more engaging. Even Phantasy Star 1, I prefer the story of that game because it's a good classic revenge story, and I like those. In here, it's okay. The general story, it's good, but it could have been so much better. That's the thing that annoyed me with Phantasy Star Portable. Everything could have been so much better. The story, the characters, the development, interaction, the combat especially could have been simply like ease. Just do something like that. Um, but even with these annoying things, you play so much, you get kind of good to it. By the end of the game, I was having fun because I was annoyed by the combat system, but I kind of mastered it, so I was kind of good. But it still annoyed me. The same thing with the story. There's no helping. It's not the interaction with the character is really bad. I think they really have to improve this. I don't know if Portable 2 it's better or Nova it's better. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. But for now, I don't know what to think at the end of the day because I can see there is a good, or at least a pretty good game here. I cannot say honestly that this is bad because this is not a bad game, and I kind of enjoy certain things. Other things drove me crazy, but overall, it's an okay game. I also had fun playing it, but they really have to improve most of the things. Maybe Portable 2 would be fantastic. I don't know. So and the thing that I don't know, maybe I not overhyped myself because I try to be careful with that, and I knew that this kind of gameplay had stuff that I don't like. But the biggest disappointment was definitely the really bland interaction between the characters. But it could be so good, and it was so incomplete in a way. Because with the battle system, it's an MMO. It's not an hack and slash game, even though it would probably be better, um, at least for me. But as I said, you get used to it. You get good to it. So it's not as bad. But with the story, there's no excuse. They could, and also, as I said, it, usually it's not a big deal for me. But like the graphics and the animation, the cutscenes, all of that was kind of bad actually. And now that I think about it, I talk about it again. I really didn't like it very much. It could have been so much better again. And so with the voice acting, just don't have it. Just use text. I don't care. I played a lot of games with silent characters, so overall, Phantasy Star Portable, it's not a bad game. It's simply not my cup of tea. That's the main reason why I kind of annoyed with it. But I like other things. I see the potential of this game. It could have been so much better for me. That's the thing. Just do a sort of Mass Effect kind of game. Is that difficult? Maybe yes. I don't know. But yeah, this is everything I can think about it because I don't want to repeat too much about certain things I already said. Mainly a better story, maybe deeper, a really better character development and interaction. Like the music was good, the combat it's really clunky, but you can get good to it, and you'll have a better game already like that because the Fantasy Star universe, no pun intended, has such a big potential. I mean, basically, the general idea of a new solar system with a new story, it's what I want from a Phantasy Star 5, because it's what I want. I don't want this kind of MMO games, action RPG games. I want Sega to go back to the old school turn-based. Of course, it's never going to happen because apparently people it's tired of turn-based games. I don't know why. They're always good. But just go get and do a classic Phantasy Star game. Maybe use the combat system of more modern games. I don't know, like Final Fantasy 13, even though most people hate it. But like a modern or updated turn-based RPG, that's how Phantasy Star should be. We'll see. As I said, maybe I'll play Portable 2, maybe I'll play Nova, I don't know. We'll see. So I think that's it. I cannot think about anything else I can add to Phantasy Star Portable. Seriously, it's not a bad game. It's just I'm really not an MMO player. I haven't played an MMO, I think, since Diablo 2. So it's been a long time. I'm not used to more modern MMOs. I never liked the idea of playing RPGs online. I'm an old man. I'm an old school RPG player. What can I do? So it's not bad. If you want to try it, you may like it. Why not? As I say, there's plenty of potential. Maybe you'll love it. So if it's not too expensive, go give it a try, actually. Because it has some good things, but it's better if you don't care too much about characters. Because that really irritated me. So that's it. I don't want to go on forever. But that's it for RPG Marathon Part 3 and RPG Marathon in general. I'll try to play something else if I'm able to put down Final Fantasy VIII. I really want to focus on Jak and Daxter and other games before getting into another big RPG. We'll see what I can do. So thanks for watching, guys, like always. I hope to make more videos in the future. For now, I'll see you next time, and take care.